All right, folks, it's time for the Northeast premier fishing show, The Fishing Line with Rich Johnson, now in our second decade. The Fishing Line is brought to you by the Outdoor Channel, real outdoors for real people, the one, the only outdoor channel. And by the Long Island Power Authority, more choice, better service, LIPA. And by the Fishing Report Hotline, 24-hour fishing reports by phone when you need them. The Fishing Line with Rich Johnson is also brought to you in part by Yamaha, when you want the best.
Hey fishermen, for the most comprehensive reports and fishing information on the internet, log on to www.thefishingline.com. Thefishingline.com has fishing reports for boats, surf, freshwater, or party and charter boats for Long Island's tri-state area. Now you can listen to the Fishing Line radio show live on the web, Saturdays at 4 p.m., or see video clips of the TV show. Know where they are, not where they were, with thefishingline.com. What you need to know in fishing, it's www.thefishingline.com.
Outdoor Channel is the channel you've been waiting for. We bring you the real outdoors with hours of hunting action each and every day. If real outdoor entertainment is what you're looking for, then you need the Outdoor Channel. Call your cable provider, let them know that you want the only real outdoor network, the Outdoor Channel.
Today's show takes a look at the world of using artificials for striped bass. With bunker, clams, and eels all highlighted in the past on the Fishing Line, I thought we would delve into the seemingly forgotten art of using artificials for stripers. This week's action takes us to a couple of the striped bass hotspots of the northeastern United States. We'll visit the nutmeg state of Connecticut with Captain Eric Matlin to fish the Connecticut River with plastics and light tackle. But first we'll visit New Jersey's Raritan Bay with Captain Al Ristori of the Star Ledger newspaper. Captain Al Ristori, we're in the back of Raritan Bay, working the channels. We're using wire line. And we're using big bombers. A lot of folks don't realize that they can use lures to troll wireline. It doesn't have to be a bunker spoon or an umbrella rig, right?
That's right. Yeah, quite often, most of the time, the fish will take lures, any kind of large bait. The bigger, the better.
And that's because they're feeding on the adult bunker.
They're feeding on the big bunkers right now. Earlier in the season, they come in here on herring, and the plugs are even more effective then when they're on herring. But they'll still take the big plugs. You get into them when they're in the feeding mode, and they usually aren't all that fussy. They'll eat what you're giving them.
Now we're looking for some of these larger seagulls, not the small terns. Yeah. Why is that, Al?
Because the gulls are generally over bass. The terns, if you nothing but terns, it's usually small blues.
Right.
But if you got a mixture of birds, but as long as there's some big ones in there, it usually means there's big fish underneath them.
Now we're up here in the Raritan Reach, and that's the channel we're in. And how are we working this out? Are we running right along the edge of the channel?
Right now,
28 to 40 feet, about that depth.
Right now, we're working 28 feet of water. We're getting tons of marks. We should be hooking up, and there's a lot of fish along here. It's just a question of getting to one of the leap. But if you look at the screen, there's one.
There's one. Bring him in, Joe.
There we got a fish.
Joe Farry in. That's this wire here. Okay. Hold him there, Joe.
Barely got that lure in the water and he jumped on it.
That's my monofilament.
Small
A lot of that's the mono, I think, now. Another bass. Step back.
Got him, Rich?
There we go. Now remember, you got two big treble hooks here, folks. Gonna come down easy on the plug, and then make a quick move on them like that.
Watch your hand.
That came right out. Look at that, Joe.
Boy, they're pretty.
Another 28-inch fish, another keeper. Raritan Reach, Raritan Bay stripers. trolling big bombers on wire line. Look at that.
Look at the colors out.
Dude, look how green and purple. That is an awesome looking
pretty
color.
fish.
And there he goes. Al, we're fishing up in the back of Raritan Bay, Raritan Reach Channel. This really has some fishery back here. It's May. Take us through May into, say, the dog days of summer. What's going to happen here?
Okay, we're gonna catch our biggest fish right now in volume, at least the volume of big fish. When the bunkers are in here to attract the fish, and primarily before the spawning period up in the Hudson River too. So we're going to get some very big fish, and a lot of them this month. It's excellent fishery. But when the bunkers start moving back out into the ocean, or the purse seiners wrap up enough of them, then there's not as much attraction for those fish, and they start going out into the ocean and up the East Coast and wherever they're going to go. So that's going to change the nature of the fishery. Now we're going to start going more toward the east end of the bay, out of Flynn's Knoll, Roma Shoals, a lot anchoring up, chumming with clams, catching big numbers of schoolies and a few bigger fish among them. That'll last through June, hopefully into early July, and during the summer, it then becomes more of a night fishery. You can still catch fish during the summer, but it's mostly on live eels and worms fished at night, such as in the Sandy Hook Rip and up in Roma Shoals and so forth.
Al, choosing the right rod and reel in the trolling game with these big plugs is key, and the real workhorse of any trolling operation really is the Penn Center to 4.0, isn't it?
Yeah, I think that's what most of the fellows use, because it gives you a lot of capacity. You can put 100 yards of wire on there. You can add, and plenty of backing.
Right.
A lot of Jersey guys don't even use all that wire. They only use 150 feet, and they put a trail to get a little deeper. But still, a bigger reel with a greater cranking power makes it easier to bring in the fish.
Absolutely. Now, the rods on today's show were all Seeker rods, all glass rods. The first one was a 7-foot BA 330. Tell us about that.
That's your standard rod, your standard trolling rod for use with umbrella rigs, with plugs, just about anything it will handle. But it's perfect for those. It's got a little more backbone and it's shorter. Now, then you have the 1153 that we're using also, the 8-foot. Bunker spoon rod, which also comes in a 9-foot version. And these have a nice soft action, so that when you're running a bunker spoon, you can see the pounding on the rod tip, and it gives it the proper action. After that, you can use anything else on it too. You can use the umbrella rigs, the plugs, anything else you want to troll will also work fine on those rods. And
these Seeker rods are fantastic rods for this. We also added my stand-up chunking rod, which is a BA 30, which we used to run a deep diving bomber right down the middle on my tough line on a regular conventional reel, and that allowed us to put just 50 or 60 feet of line out with a bomber lure, big lip that dove 15, 20 feet, and we were able to run 3 lines. But choosing the right rod, which is a Seeker rod, and the right reel for this game of Penn, you'll have much more success. See, I was just checking the line. I thought there was something on it.
Yeah.
But knowing there's fish in the area, I was working the plug on the way in.
Watch that other line now that he doesn't. Is he over you or under you?
I'm right in behind the boat.
Okay. All right.
Is that a bass? I saw a fin, Al. Not 100% sure yet. I was in the glare of the sun, though. Shaking his head like a bluefish, though.
Yeah, it's a bass.
It's a bass. There we go.
Small bass.
I'll step back. You want to grab the leader out?
Yep. Get him in a little closer.
Step back. Let the captain come in and grab the leader.
Okay. Oh, man, he glomp it, too.
Well, that's a keeper.
All right.
Look at that.
Let me get back up to trolling speed.
On the baby striper bomber. Look at that. Nice looking plug. Nice fish. That's a keeper.
Yeah, that's
look
a
at
keeper
that.
size.
He really took that one. Way down in there. Look at that.
Well, luckily he swallowed it, but he didn't get hurt. Look at that.
Look at that.
That was easy.
Striper on a baby striper bomber. Look at that. You can't ask for more than that. See, don't think that every time you troll, you got to be trolling bunker spoons, umbrella rigs, shad rigs. When these fish are up in the back of Raritan Bay like this and they're on bunker, you want to troll plugs. Some folks like the big wooden plugs. We're using 7-inch and 9-inch bombers today, and like I said, this is a baby striper pattern. This is a real good pattern. There's some nice stripers like that. That's a 28-inch fish, no doubt about that, Al.
Oh yeah, there's
fish on.
Okay,
there behind us. This one we're going to take home with us, Al. You know, when it comes to trolling plugs for bass, folks, a couple things you want to keep in mind. Bring a variety of plugs, all right? Because you have to match the size of the plug to the size of the bait the bass are feeding on. Some days it's 5.5 inches. Some days like today, it was a 7-inch plug. I bring bombers, cotton cordell redfins, and rebels in a variety of styles, a variety of colors, straight plugs or jointed plugs. The big three of the information you need to know: you want to match the size of the plug to the bait the fish are feeding on, you want to find the depth the fish are feeding at, then find the color they want. If you got 3 or 4 folks on the boat, everybody should be fishing a different color at the depth that you found the fish at. Then the fish will tell you what color they want. Chicken scratch is a great color. Red and white, black and silver, blue and silver, baby striper patterns. These are all great colors when it comes to striped bass, but that's the key. Bring enough plugs to cover all the situations and you'll catch more fish.
53. We have 53 great energy-saving tips that will help save on your electric bill, like our tips 30 and 31. You'll save energy by drying heavy and light fabrics separately. And remember to clean your lint filter. Lint blocks airflow and can be a fire hazard. For more energy-saving tips, visit www.lipower.org and download our 53 Ways to Save Energy pamphlet. LIPA. More choice, better service.
Joe Farry, pleasure to have you on the trip with us today. And Joe, you're part of the Pradco company. We've told the folks before just how many lure companies are under the Pradco umbrella, right?
Right. Pradco has Bomber, Rebel, Smithwick, Arbogast, Head. We've got a multitude. Excalibur, a very popular lure that's been used for fresh and salt water.
But the big three in our neck of the woods, New Jersey, Connecticut, and Long Island region, definitely got to be the Bomber, the Rebel, and the Creek Choke.
You got it.
Oh, that feels like a good one there. I don't know what that is. Let me take this clicker off. Now that plug, we're running down the middle on a braided line on my Seeker rod, is a B what, Joe? What is that?
B26A, Bomber.
That's a red and white Bomber, big deep diving lip. And you say that dives deeper than any other plug on the market? Is that what you say?
That'll dive as deep as any other plug on the market today.
That looks like a nice fish right there. Striped bass. Small bass. That's not too small. That might be a keeper there, Al. Here, slide back to your left there, Joe. I'm going to bring him in that side. Get him out from the engines. Oh, yeah. Another nice keeper. Look at that.
That's a nice fish.
28-inch fish.
Want me to get him?
Look at that. I got him.
Here.
Heads up. I got him, Joe. Look at that. Look at that Bomber hanging right out of his mouth right there. Now it's at the B25, you said?
B26A Bomber.
B26A. Let me have the pliers. I'll take the pliers, a little bit more leverage. Look at that. Look at the size of that lip. And we're running that on a short line, just 50 or 60 feet behind the boat.
Right,
but that plug is diving 18, 20 feet, right?
Boy, that's a killer of a lure.
Look at that. So we're running 3 lines. We got 2 on the outside, which is the wire. Now we ran this deep diving plug right down the middle. I'm using tough line, 50-pound test tough line with a big heavy swivel. I got 40-pound test monofilament as a leader, and that's a nice 28-inch fish, which we're going to throw back. Here, let me have this, Joe. I'll show you folks the plug there in a second. I'll put him right back in here. Look how beautiful and green that color. That's a fresh fish, folks. Look how green that is. Beautiful. Woo!
Hey, that's
that
more
water
fish
on the
lure.
glasses is a good sign, isn't it? I love water on the glasses. Look at Hey, folks, I'm telling you, vary the plugs, try different colors as well, and try different depths. The Bombers we're using, the big ones are using a what, Joe? The B what?
B26A.
That's what this is, right?
Yes.
What I wonder what the shallow lip, the one we've been trolling.
Right. B16A is the one we've been fishing with.
So go ahead.
Well, the one thing about the B26A is that you don't have to use wire. You can fish this, it'll go down just as deep as any other lure in the market today.
And what I'm doing, like I said earlier, is I'm using a braided line, 50-pound test tough line, and I got a fluorocarbon 15-foot leader, 40-pound test, and I got a deep diving B26A. And there you have it. All right, let's go get another one.
Let's get them.
Woohoo! Oh, there we go, Al. Oh, man. That feels like a much better fish. But these Seeker rods, I love these rods, folks.
They're beautiful. I tell you, I swear by them. That's the bunker spoon model. It just gives you just the right action on it.
And just because
without being heavy. And
that's right.
The old bunker spoon rods that I used to make from surf rods.
There's a nice fish.
Yeah, it was they were horrendous, man.
Right behind the boat. Look at that.
They kill the angler.
Yep.
This one is a pleasure to use.
This is a nice fish right here, Al.
Okay.
Woo! Let's see which way he wants to go. Which way you want to go? Coming that way. Coming that way. Coming your way, Joe.
Out, Joe.
Slide up the rail. Take the rod with you, please.
That's it.
That's a 20-pound fish, Al. That's what you're looking for.
We're out of gear, see?
Yep. There you go. There's your 20-pound fish. Look at that. Nice-looking fish.
That nice fat one.
On the baby striper pattern, I'm just going to step back.
Okay.
I'm going to give you a little bit of
bring a fish over this way. Whoa.
Oh, he's not ready. He wants to come this side. Here we go. I'll do that for him. There you go. That's a nice looking fish right there.
Okay.
That's eating some bunker, Hal.
Yeah. He's well. It's probably a female too. He's probably getting ready to spawn. That could be. Got the hook down deep, but not hurt.
Bring him right in. There you go. There's your 20-pound fish.
That's a little better. Yeah, we're working our way up. Give me the hook out. It's real lightly. And I got it out without even doing it. Just a little backward push, and out she was never really in.
Hold on to the fish, Al. Look at that.
There you go. A little better.
Not bad, huh?
Working our way up.
Now, you've been writing the Star Ledger how many years now?
15 years.
15 years, and you can get his...
Oh, excuse me, 18 years.
18 years, and you can get his column also on the web for the StarLedger.com as well.
Right,
so,
on the internet, right?
We're going to release this one right now.
Okay.
Let's put him back in.
Probably a her. Looks like she's got eggs in her.
Hey folks, you've been coming to the FishingLine.com site for years for the only up-to-the-minute fishing reports on the web. Now get the same great reports 24 hours a day by telephone. That's right, the new Fishing Line report line is up and running, and best of all, it's free. No membership fees, no pay-by-the-minute fees, it costs you nothing. A free phone call for the best updated reports 24 hours a day, all by phone. Call 516-977-2088, 516-977-2088.
Yamaha's new 250 horsepower 4-stroke delivers everything you want in an offshore outboard. Its unique variable camshaft timing and electronic throttle valve deliver breathtaking torque, powerful acceleration, smooth trolling, and exceptional fuel efficiency, all wrapped up in Yamaha's legendary 4-stroke turn-the-key reliability. Everything you want, and then some.
Our trip today takes us into Connecticut, and more precisely, Old Saybrook, where the Connecticut River flows into Long Island Sound. My guest today is Captain Eric Matlin, captain and Yum Bait representative, who's been touting the virtues of this area's striper population for some time. The fabulous state facilities below the I-95 overpass offer plenty of shaded parking, a super launch ramp, and fishing piers. And despite Eric being a Red Sox fan, he did put us on the fish. Let's join today's action in progress. Oh man, he's running, Eric. Now we're up here fishing in just like 2 or 3 feet of water right on these sandbars and these rips. And they're working both sides. I'm gonna have to go chase them. I have to go chase this one. They're working up on these shallow flats up in the middle of the Connecticut River here. Ooh, that's a pretty good fish. Fighting hard for his size.
Look at the mung you got on there.
I know.
Oh,
well, right up, you can
here.
see the bottom here. And they're right up here on the shallow flats on these sandbars. So they're up here, what, up on the shallows feeding in the morning, Eric? Is that what they're doing?
Yeah.
That's a keeper right there. Well, I warm that pretty good there, I think. There we go. Oh! Woo! That's a keeper. No doubt about that. Got him hooked right in the corner of the mouth. And a lot of it is sight fishing too, because we're actually seeing the fish break and feeding on the bait. Oh my, look at that. We're on top of like billions of these things. Eric, you've been fishing this river for a long time. A lot of bait fish through here, from small fish right up to big jumbo 2-pound hickory shad. So a lot of different baits come into play, right?
Yes, we do. Yep, we have topwater baits, swim baits, and soft plastics.
Now when it comes to the topwaters, tell us about the topwater baits you choose for the river.
Well, we have Zara spooks, we have pencil poppers, and we have the new super knucklehead. Basically, the Zara spook is for light wind conditions. The pencil popper is for when it's a little bit windier out, it's a little bit rougher. And then the new super knucklehead basically is going to be a great plug. It's just going to match the hatch with those hickories around here.
Now, as we explore the rest of the water column, minnow baits really have a big play in this river too as well, don't they?
Yes, they do. Basically, early in the part of the year when it's in the high 40s, early 50s, we want to use like a 5-inch bait. As the bait fish start to move in, you want to go into the 6 and 7-inch baits. And basically, once they've been in here and the water gets warm, some of these waking baits, the cotton cordell redfins are just a great bait for right about right now when the water temperature's in the low 70s and those hickories, you know, panning up on the top of the water column.
Now, plastics, I know you love throwing plastics, don't you?
Yep. I probably throw plastics, I'd have to say, other than top water, probably about 75% of the time.
Right. Now, there's a difference of time when you want to use different plastics, right?
Yeah. Basically, the shad body is more or less when you're fishing over structure or humps in 20 feet of water with a 1-ounce jig head. The jerk shads are basically the 5-inch again, same thing as the hard bodies, but for some reason I have it's all in what you believe in. I think that the soft plastics have a lot more reaction.
Right.
And then the 7-inch Yum Dingers this year are just doing a phenomenal job.
Now, the Yum Dingers will come from 3-inch all the way up to 7 and 8 inches, but make sure you get a bunch of these Yum plastics. Some of these are new on the market. They're just hitting the stores now, but we got to get back to some more fishing. You're working it pretty quick, right?
Yep.
There we go. Oh yeah, this is fantastic. You get them up on these flats. You wouldn't think that these flats even exist in a river this size. The great thing about this is you get to see really the fish coming up to hit the bait before he hits the bait. So what you really got to pay attention to, and I've missed a couple of fish today because of it, is reacting. You don't react to the sight. You have to react. You don't really set the hook until you feel the weight of the fish come onto it. All light tackle 12, 14-pound test silver thread. Woo! Nothing wrong with that one, Eric.
No, there isn't.
You want to grab them there for me? Lead them right into you. Nice job. Woo, baby. Nice. Connecticut River stripers. There's another keeper. That's another 29-inch fish. So a lot of people react to the sight and they yank the bait out, but if you have the monofilament, you get the little lag time, and therefore the fish can take it and start to run off, and then you can react to the weight of the fish.
Right. The best thing about fishing out here is, like you said, you see them coming, you jerk, 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 kill it, and bang.
That's it. Okay, well, let's release this one back. Eric, what's the secret to rigging these big Yum Dingers so they lay straight and they work right?
Well, basically you just want to use an oversized worm hook, something that comes from the freshwater bass market. This is an oversized, and the secret is to take, there's a pointy end and then there's a flat end. You want to use the flat end. You're going to take that hook point, push it right down through the middle of it until it comes to the first bend in the hook, push it through, twist it around. Then what I do is I line it up on the side of the bait like this so that I can see where it's going to come out straight. Push it through, lay it up there just like that, and you're all set.
And you can rig them a little bit deeper in the body like this one where the line actually comes through. Obviously you do it with the line already on. But when these baits are so long and even up into the 9-inch size, you want to bury the hook a little bit down the body so you go a little bit deep. You can see the difference here right? But using these big oversized hooks, almost like a kale hook, almost acts as a rudder or a keel and keeps the bait straight, right?
Correct. Yeah, basically you can push that hook. I mean, I've gone back a couple inches in the bait. If you have some of these fish that are just coming up to not really eat it, they're just coming up to kill it, you have to push it back to the tail.
Well, let's show the folks at home how this works.
Okay, let's go get them.
So what we're going to do is we're going to make a cast. Cast out off the side here. Can you do it with the rod tip up or the rod tip down?
I prefer, if you want to keep it right on top of the water, sometimes I'll pop it almost like a pop-and plug.
There's a 15-pound fish right there, folks. That's a good-looking fish.
Oh, look at the one underneath it. Oh, holy smoke.
Well, you got another one behind it? What, do you have one come up behind it?
Yeah, that's what they do. They'll get... They're almost like the smallmouth up north. They get up, and they're looking for those chunks of bait, you know, that are coming out of their mouth. I'm going to do the same thing I did before, Rich. I'm going to slide them right to you.
That's 15-pound fish, folks, right there. Either side's fine, Eric. Look at that slug right there.
He's not hooked that well. Right, here he comes.
Come on. Easy, easy. Oh! Whoa, man! That's 18, 20-pound fish right there. That's a big fish. Woo, baby, look at that. Connecticut River stripers, man.
The Fishing Line with Rich Johnson has been brought to you by the Outdoor Channel, real outdoors for real people, the one, the only outdoor channel. And by the Long Island Power Authority, more choice, better service, LIPA. And by the Fishing Report Hotline, 24-hour fishing reports, by phone when you need them. The Fishing Line with Rich Johnson was also brought to you in part by Yamaha, when you want the best.